Welcome back to Pick Pups. On this video we are going to give you our best bets for today's games. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and to push that notification bell so you don't miss any of our daily betting picks. Now enough talking and let's get straight to our picks. For today's CFB games we have New Mexico versus New Mexico State. The New Mexico Lobos picked up their second win of the season against UTEP a few weeks back, and they will be aiming to get back into the win column after this game. They have now lost 3 games in a row, though. On offense, New Mexico is scoring 19.3 points per game and averaging 257.2 total yards. This is the 117th most points scored per game and the 128th most yards. The Lobos are expected to start Miles Kendricks at quarterback, as he has only thrown for 3 touchdowns and 6 interceptions this season. He has to protect the ball to give his team a shot in this game. They are currently averaging 118.5 passing yards per game, which is the 126th most in the nation. Last week, they threw for 122 passing yards against Wyoming. Luckily, the Lobos have been better on the ground. They are averaging 138.7 rushing yards per game, which is the 90th most in the country. Watch for Nathaniel Jones out of the backfield, as he leads the team with 255 yards and 1 touchdown. He is also averaging 3.9 yards per carry. Kendricks also ran for 72 yards against Wyoming last week, as he showed that he could also move the ball with his legs. The New Mexico State Aggies have not started this season how they would have liked, as they have only picked up 1 win. They took down Hawaii a few weeks back, but their other games haven't been close. Wisconsin defeated them 66-7 3 weeks back. On offense, the Aggies are scoring 14 points per game and they are averaging 268 total yards. This is the 128th most points scored per game and the 127th most yards. Moving down the field consistently has been a huge struggle for New Mexico State this season. They have also had issues moving the ball through the air, as they are only averaging 121 passing yards per game. This is the 125th most in the country, as they will look to lean on their rushing attack. I expect Gavin Frakes to start at quarterback, as the freshman has split time with Diego Pavia this season. Frakes has thrown for 2 touchdowns and 6 interceptions in his limited time on the field. Neither of them has been impressive, as we could see both in this game. Now, they are running for the 79th most rushing yards per game, as they are averaging 147. Watch for Star Thomas out of the backfield, as he has already run for 272 yards and 2 touchdowns this season. He is also averaging 5.7 yards per carry, as he has been a spark for this offense. I will be hammering the New Mexico Lobos -6.5 on the road against the New Mexico State Aggies. The Lobos are currently 5-2-1 ATS in their last 8 meetings and I trust their defense much more. The Lobos are surrendering the 50th least amount of points per game and the 40th least amount of yards. They won't allow the Aggies to consistently move the ball down the field, as they will fail to score enough points to keep this game within the spread. New Mexico State is only scoring 14 points per game and they have not been able to move the ball through the air. They are throwing for the 125th most passing yards per game, as I see this Lobos secondary showing up in this one. I also see New Mexico's front 7 showing up, as they are allowing the 30th least amount of rushing yards per game. They will clog the middle and force the Aggies to beat them through the air. That just won't happen, as the Lobos will slowly pull away throughout this game. New Mexico State is surrendering the 109th most points and the 88th most yards. The Lobos will be able to run the ball all over them, as the Lobos running backs should dominate this game. New Mexico is the better defensive team and they will get the job done on the road. Pick the Lobos and lay the points -6.5. It's tough finding a bright spot on either side of a New Mexico State squad scoring on average just 2 touchdowns per game and allowing an average of 32.2 points. Linebacker Chris Ojo has done his part to try to lead the defense, registering 46 total tackles, 5 for a loss and 3 sacks. Unfortunately, the team has allowed an average of 392.2 yards per game and has given up 3 or more touchdowns in 5 of 6 games. The over has connected in this rivalry in 8 of the last 10 matchups, with all of those sitting at 54 or higher. These two have a tendency to kick up some dust when they get at it, but this time around things are a lot different. This Aggies team is one of the lowest scoring offenses in the country, averaging just 14 points per game behind just 265.5 yards per game, the 5th lowest mark in the country. They have scored less than 2 touchdowns in all but 1 game. In terms of overall offensive yardage, the Lobos' 1,558 is the 6th lowest in the county and the Aggies' 1,593 is 7th. My second pick is under 37.5 points.